was so nice. Couldn't have been nicer. And after meeting with Bibi for 3 minutes, I looked at him and said, "You don't want to make a deal, do you?" And he said, "Well,
No.
the fact is, I don't think Bibi ever wanted to make a deal. Why? I thought the Palestinians were impossible, that the Israelis would do anything to make peace and a deal. I found that not to be true.
It's always Israel that rejects it. It's always Netanyahu that rejects it. And the Palestinians are actually willing to accept any fair deal. So Trump is saying that. So this narrative of, Trump will be more bad than Biden, and, I don't buy that narrative. I want this deal. But what was the deal? Okay, I'll give you my analysis to it. Obviously, you can take it or leave it. In my opinion, what Trump was offering to Netanyahu was a one-state solution.
Fate of the
He's nodding.
Palestinian people.
As soon as the word Palestine came in, it's Israel that rejects a fair deal every time. Okay, so there's a general narrative that, if Trump comes in, he'll be even worse than Biden and all this kind of thing in terms of this Israel-Palestine thing. And I would like to take a different approach on this. Many Muslims, majority of the Muslims do believe that there wouldn't be any difference, but I think that Trump was probably better than Biden. There is no doubt about it for me. The reason for that is Trump actually offered a deal to both Netanyahu and President Abbas from Palestine. He offered a deal to both of them. And he openly called out Netanyahu that Netanyahu was the one who rejected the deal. So this has happened in history, and I'll show you. Okay, so this is the video, I think, about 2-3 years back when Trump just, came out of office. After that, he revealed this, that he offered a deal to Netanyahu and he rejected.
I was disappointed in Bibi, just on a personal basis. When we have an election that was a rigged election, like a third world country election, I think it's a terrible personal trait. I haven't spoken to him since, right? I didn't talk to him.
He actually said F him.
Thought he wanted to make a deal more than Netanyahu.
Yeah, so here he's talking about President Abbas. He's saying that Abbas wanted to make a deal more than Netanyahu.
And I will be honest, I had a great meeting with him, Abbas, right? I had a great meeting with him. And we spent a lot of time together, talked about many things. And it was almost like a father. He was so nice. Couldn't have been nicer. And after meeting with Bibi for 3 minutes, I looked at him and said, "You don't want to make a deal, do you?" And he said, "Well,
No.
the fact is, I don't think Bibi ever wanted to make a deal. Why? I thought the Palestinians were impossible, that the Israelis would do anything to make peace and a deal. I found that not to be true.
So this narrative that, Israel has always liked to play of, we offered the deal, they never accepted it, we offered the deal. Trump is actually exposing it, that no, it's the other way around. That when you talk about fair deals, some sort of a fair deal, it's always Israel that rejects it. It's always Netanyahu that rejects it. And the Palestinians are actually willing to accept any fair deal. So Trump is saying that. So this narrative of, Trump will be more bad than Biden, and, I don't buy that narrative. I think Trump is probably better than Biden in terms of that. No doubt, I don't, consider both of them to be good. But in terms of this Israel-Palestine issue, I think Trump is more flexible than Biden.
As far as settlements, I'd like to see you hold back on settlements for a little bit. And secondly, on the settlement issue, are you both on the same page? As far as settlements, I'd like to see you hold back on settlements for a little bit. We'll work something out, but I would like to see a deal be made. I think a deal will be made. Bibi and I have known each other a long time. A smart man, great negotiator, and I think we're going to make a deal. It might be a bigger and better deal than people in this room even understand. That's a possibility. So let's see what we do. Right. Doesn't sound too optimistic, but that's but negotiate. That's the art of the deal.
Okay, this is, I think, the most important point, I think. During the Trump presidency for the Israel-Palestine issue, I think this is the most important point. What was the deal that Trump was talking about? What was the deal that Trump was talking about? This is the million-dollar question. And, he was sort of persuading him that, hey, do you accept this deal? And Bibi is like, no, let's try, almost giving a gesture that he doesn't want this deal. But what was the deal? Okay, I'll give you my analysis to it. Obviously, you can take it or leave it. In my opinion, what Trump was offering to Netanyahu was a one-state solution. In which Jews and Muslims would live side by side, and Christians as well, in one state, with Jerusalem as the capital, and the Palestinians and the Israelis both would have equal rights, and you can add the right of return as well. So probably they were thinking across these lines. They were thinking of, offering a one-state solution. And Palestinians were more flexible to it. That's why, Trump revealed it. And Netanyahu wasn't. So in my opinion, Trump offered Netanyahu a one-state solution where Jews and Muslims and Christians would live side by side, with Jerusalem as the not joint capital, but as the capital. So this is the, I think, deal that Trump was offering him, and he rejected, and Palestinians were more flexible towards it, or more, welcoming of that deal. And you can just hear Netanyahu, right? Let's try. He doesn't want a deal. Obviously, he doesn't want it. It's Israel that rejects a fair deal every time.
I was saddened by the fate of the Palestinian people. They deserve I was saddened by the fate of the Palestinian people.
Look at his face change. Look at Netanyahu's face, how it changed. As soon as Trump mentioned Palestinians, his face changed. He was nodding first, and he at once, stopped looking at him and started looking towards the audience. That what is the reaction of the audience? Are they believing what Trump is saying? So, anything that, you speak in favor of Palestine is like hatred for him, is like wrong for him. That's how extreme this person has become.
A far better life. They deserve the chance to achieve their.
And now he was examining the audience, that we see that, are they thrilled about that answer?
Deserve the chance to achieve their extraordinary potential. Palestinians have been trapped in a cycle of terrorism, poverty, and violence, exploited by those seeking to use them as pawns to advance terrorism and extremism.
The nodding has stopped, right? And who are the ones who are expanding extremism and terrorism? I think Trump smartly hinted towards a lot of people, in which, Israel is included as well. So you could see the nodding stopped. So I think Trump is probably better than Biden in terms of the Israel-Palestine thing. Trump would probably make a better negotiation rather than Biden. Biden is useless. We all know that. Biden is old, useless, and he is more a slave to AIPAC, a more slave to, those lobbies. And Trump is not a slave to those lobbies. We know that, because Trump was against the status quo. Even to the Western media, Trump did a very good thing of, calling CNN as fake news, calling BBC as fake news. Otherwise, when we used to challenge them on the 9/11, we were always labeled as conspiracy theorists. Even on this Israel, attacks on Palestine, they were planning to call, a large segment of the Muslims or truth seekers as conspiracy theorists, but they failed. Why they failed? Because, Trump actually helped in the past of, calling CNN out, calling BBC out as fake news. So they saw it ahead that it wouldn't have worked. So Trump would be much better than Biden, I believe, in terms of the Israel-Palestine thing. Not to say that, he's gonna be good for the Muslims, but just to say that in terms of, who is worse among the Israel-Palestine thing, no doubt Biden is worst. Genocide Joe.